But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. That's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to think about it. What's made?
This is my video update on this Monday afternoon, July the 15th. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the Trump assassination attempt. That remains the big story in the news cycle. And the media, they are downplaying the assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump. The mainstream media is telling us that this was not a big deal. Stop making Trump into a hero. That is what they are trying to tell us. Nothing to see here. Move on. Let's start talking about how bad Trump is. Let's start talking about Trump, the tyrant and the mustache man and the dictator. Let's not talk about Trump, the hero. That is what the mainstream media is running with. We have an article from the Washington Post with the title, "Musk, Other Pro-Trump Billionaires Have Helped Shape Shooting Narrative." The right-leaning business community on X, including Elon Musk and hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman, used their megaphones to endorse Trump and fuel storylines about Saturday's attack. And the New York Times, they have an article with the title, "Republicans Place Shooting in Trump's Narrative of Persecution. Even without a known motive, Donald J. Trump's allies are casting the attempt on his life as part of the story of oppression at the heart of this campaign." Elon Musk, Bill Ackman, David Sachs, stop trying to make Trump into a hero. Damn it. Damn it. Let's talk about evil Trump, not heroic Trump. I wish Elon Musk would stop talking about how Donald J. Trump was giving a speech and he came within half an inch of losing his life. If he did not turn his head a little bit this way, that bullet would have hit Trump, ending his life. But look, it's a common occurrence. It really is not that much of a story. So that is what the Washington Post wants to tell us. Stop making a hero out of Trump. Look, if that was Biden, on stage and a bullet whizzed by his ear, Biden would have also stood back up and gave a fist pump and said, "Fight, fight, fight." No doubt about it. 100%. Remember when Biden had to face the stairs of the airplane of Air Force One? Remember that? I remember. The stairs knocked him down, but what did Biden do? What did Biden do? He stood back up. He actually fell twice, but he stood back up both times. And he got on the plane. Now that is heroic. Not what Trump did. What Trump did was a daily occurrence for most of us. The New York Times and the Washington Post, they're absolutely right on this one. I agree with the mainstream media. Let's get back to talking about Orange Man Bad. Let's forget all of this Trump rising up and chanting, "Fight, fight, fight." Let's forget about that. So Trump made his way to the mainstream media. They have no shame. They really have no shame. The good news for Biden in all of this, when speaking about the mainstream media, is that they have stopped talking about Biden's cognitive challenges. That's the good news for Biden and the Biden campaign, which may actually signal that the clock is running out on finding a Biden replacement now that the media is not going after Biden and his mumbling and bumbling and confusion. The clock may run out on the whole replacement talk, and Biden will probably be the nominee for November 2024. But let's wait for the convention, for the Democrat Party convention. Right now, we have the Republican convention taking place in Milwaukee, and Trump, he arrived to Milwaukee, and he's going to take part in the convention. He actually gave, I think this was his first interview to the New York Post. They have the title, "I Shouldn't Be Here. Grateful Trump Tells the Post's Michael Goodwin About Surviving Assassin's Bullet. The doctor at the hospital said he never saw anything like this. He called it a miracle," said Trump, who was sporting a loose, large white bandage that covered his right ear. His staff insisted that no photos be taken. "I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be dead," Trump said. "I'm supposed to be dead." So that is the article from the New York Post. And in the last 24 hours, we had a lot of good analysis on the shooting. Dan Bongino, he talked about how the Trump security detail, the Secret Service assigned to Trump, was insufficient. And Dan Bongino is former Secret Service, so he knows what he's talking about. You imagine he knows what he's talking about when he says that there hasn't been enough security assigned to Trump. Brian Berletic did a great video analysis on the shooting, and he talked about how the shooter might have been using the American flag behind Trump in order to adjust to win conditions. It was a big mistake from Trump's security to have the flag behind him or next to him, because it helps a shooter understand win conditions. And Brian, he talked at great length about the failure, the incompetence of the Secret Service and the security that was at the event. And we're getting a lot of videos resurfacing of Democrat Party officials, even Biden himself, talking about taking Trump out or neutralizing Trump. I forgot some of the words that some of the Democrat Party officials used. I believe Biden said a couple of days ago a bullseye on Trump or something like that. And Benny Johnson, is it Benny Johnson? I may be getting the name wrong, but a Democrat Party official, I'm probably getting the name wrong. I apologize. I forgot who it was. But a Democrat Party official was moving to remove Trump's Secret Service detail. There was actually quite a lot of Democrat Party officials who were trying to remove Trump's Secret Service protection. So a lot of these videos are surfacing from the last 6 months about how they wanted to not give Trump Secret Service protection, how they were talking about eliminating Trump or marginalizing Trump or stuff like that. So the internet never forgets. It never forgets. RFK Jr., I don't think he has been given Secret Service protection, has he? Even to this day, the Biden campaign refuses to give RFK Jr. Secret Service protection. That's low, man. That's really, really evil. Remember when Macron said that Trump is not going to be president. I forgot Macron's quote. But I was reading a story about Marine Le Pen, and she was talking about how the assassination on Trump should never happen, and this should not be a part of politics, of a political campaign. But I remembered Macron, and 3 months ago, he made a statement that he was told Trump was not going to be president or Trump was not going to win, something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's connected to any of this, but who knows? Who knows what's going on? Biden spoke to the American people yesterday from the Oval Office because at this moment in time, the American people, they really need Biden's clarity and strength, wisdom, his comforting words. So Biden mumbled and bumbled through a statement at the Oval Office about the assassination attempt. Though, did Biden say assassination attempt? Did he actually use those words? I don't think he actually said that there was an assassination attempt on Trump, but I could be wrong about that. Biden talked about unity. The American people need to unite. That was the message from Biden, and it wasn't very convincing. I wasn't convinced that Biden meant what he said from the Oval Office yesterday. He talked about how the temperature in politics needs to cool down. He talked about that. And he didn't convince me. I think in a week or two, Biden, the Democrats, the mainstream media, they're going to be back at it. Demonizing Trump, calling him a thug and tyrant, and Stalin and Pol Pot and the Mustache Man all rolled into one, and our democracy is in danger, and he is going to remain president for life, and they're going to get back to it. Give them a week or two, and the whole unity thing will be forgotten about. But that was Biden's message. Check out this article from CNN. I think I'm just going to read it to you because it's a very short article from CNN. This is not me. This is CNN. I'm not putting any type of conspiracy theory out there. I'm going to read you word for word what CNN posted today. The title of their article is Audio Forensics Suggest as Many as 3 Weapons Fired at Trump Rally. Forensic analysis suggests that as many as 3 weapons were fired at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday. The FBI said Sunday that the shooter acted alone. The first 3 shots were consistent with alleged weapon A, the next 5 were consistent with alleged weapon B, and the final acoustic impulse was emitted by a possible weapon C, per audio analysis by Caitlin Grigoras, director of the National Center for Media Forensics at the University of Colorado in Denver, and Cole Whitecotton, senior professional research associate at the same institution. Audio analysis has also confirmed that the gunman was about 360 to 393 feet from the podium, according to forensics expert Robert Mayer. The conclusion aligns with CNN's analysis that the gunman was on a rooftop 393 to 492 feet from the podium when shots rang out. The shots exemplify a crack pop sequence typical when a supersonic bullet passes a microphone before the arrival of the corresponding muzzle blast sound. Mayer, who teaches audio forensics at Montana State University, told CNN the time between these markers places the shooter 110 to 120 meters from the microphone. Mayer said, assuming the bullet is moving at an average speed of 800 to 1,000 meters per second, the equivalent of 2,600 to 3,280 feet per second. Make of it what you will. That's an article from CNN. Word for word what CNN posted today. Audio forensics suggests as many as 3 weapons fired at Trump rally. Not me, CNN. And we have been getting some more video from the event. And one of the videos is pretty incredible, I have to admit. Shocking from the event. Shocking video because you have people that were attending the event. Well, we're not at the actual like event close to the stage, not in the audience, but they were where the barn or the building, the warehouse where the shooter was lying down, was situated, and they were right next to the warehouse, and they were pointing at the shooter who was lying down in position to take his shot. And this was going on for like a minute, 2 minutes, and they were yelling, "There's a guy on the roof! There's a guy on the roof!" And they're talking to the police, yelling at the police, "Police! There's a guy on the roof!" And for 2 minutes, he was just sitting there, lying there, and no one did anything. That was an incredible video. We're getting reports that the Biden campaign is now working to figure out how to deal with this attempted assassination and what it means for the Biden campaign going forward. They're trying to figure the spin. How are they going to spin this so that it doesn't propel Trump into the White House? That's what the Biden campaign is working on at this very moment. The Kremlin, they reacted to the assassination attempt. The Kremlin actually sent condolences to the victims. I believe at this moment, one person was killed, a firefighter who was protecting his wife and children. Rest in peace. The Kremlin sent their condolences to the victims. One person killed, 2 people injured. And Putin said that he's not going to call Trump about this event, which is the right thing to do because Trump is not the head of state. If he was the president, then the president might receive a phone call, but it's not appropriate for the president of the Russian Federation to call the front runner in the presidential campaign. Can you imagine if Putin called Trump to wish him a speedy recovery or to wish him well or something like that? Then the media would be running with Russian interference, and you see he is a Putin stooge. So anyway, that was the statement from the Kremlin. Let's see, spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the Russian leader does not plan to call the Republican presidential hopeful in the wake of the shooting. And I think I have another quote bookmarked from Peskov. He added that Moscow strongly condemns any forms of political violence and extends its condolences to the family of the spectator who was killed in the shooting. Peskov said the incumbent administration's style is such that it prefers to resolve all issues from a position of power, including first and foremost in international affairs. No one is ever seeking compromise. Now this has basically spilled over into the country itself. After numerous attempts to remove Trump from the political arena with the help of legal tools, courts, the prosecution, attempts to politically discredit and compromise the candidate, it was clear to all outside observers that his life was in danger, the presidential spokesperson said. Interesting quote from Peskov. So let's move on and talk about the other big story for the day, which deals with Orban. So the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, first off, we are getting reports that Orban sent documents to all of the EU presidents and prime ministers detailing his diplomatic mission that took place over the past couple of weeks, the information that he has gathered from visits to Kiev, Moscow, Beijing, Washington, D.C., and ultimately Mar-a-Lago to speak with Trump. And from what I understand, the document that Orban sent to all of the EU member state leaders talks about how a possible solution or ceasefire could take place in the conflict in Ukraine. So that's the first thing connected to Orban. Politico today is reporting that Orban was, as Hungary holds the EU Council presidency, that Orban was scheduling in August 28, 29, an event for EU foreign ministers, something that the country that is holding the rotating presidency should do. And they were scheduling this event towards the end of August, and Politico is reporting that EU officials, Jungle Joseph and these guys in Brussels, they are going to schedule a foreign ministers meeting at that very same day, and they are going to make it mandatory for all EU member state foreign ministers to attend this Brussels foreign minister meeting in order to punish Orban, so that no one goes to his event in Budapest. To punish Orban, because he did what EU leaders should have been doing from day one of the conflict in Ukraine, from before the special military operation started, which is talking to Russia, talking to Ukraine, talking to China, talking to everybody in order to de-escalate, in order to avoid a conflict, and when the conflict started, in order to stop the conflict. This is something that European leaders should have been doing from the very beginning of this war, this conflict, and even from before this conflict. But nope, they're upset with Orban because Orban decided to search for a peaceful solution to the conflict in Ukraine. And now they're going to punish Orban by scheduling a mandatory meeting on the same days that he was planning to have a foreign ministers meeting in Budapest. The leaders of the European Union are freaking children. This is the stuff of a 5-year-old. These people are children. And they're running countries, they're running economies, they're in charge of militaries, they're running the entire European Union. They are little bratty, spoiled kids. That's what they are. I can't believe what Politico was reporting. I cannot believe it. So what Orban should do is very simple. He should cancel his meeting and then announce the day in like a surprise announcement, like in a day in advance or 2 days in advance. He should say, okay, in 2 days we are having a meeting in Budapest, so that the European Union doesn't decide to punish him and schedule an event at the same time in order to punish Orban because he was searching for peace. The European Union leaders, they're set on war. They want war. They want to see Ukraine destroyed. They want chaos. They want to see their own countries and their own economies destroyed, because they just can't admit that Russia defeated them. They can't admit it, that they were wrong. They lied about the conflict. Russia defeated them. They can't bring themselves to say it. And so they prefer to just destroy everything, to just burn everything down, break everything. What a bunch of children. I'm absolutely shocked and horrified and embarrassed at the EU leadership. EU plans to boycott Hungary's Foreign Affairs Summit, Politico reports. If there's a formal Foreign Affairs Council organized by the High Representative Borrell, the same day the ministers won't be able to go to Budapest, one diplomat said. That's right. Punish Orban because he was looking for peace. By the way, Kaja Kallas, since we're talking about the EU, she has officially resigned as Prime Minister of Estonia, I believe effective immediately. And she is now ready to take over for Jungle Joseph Borrell as the Foreign Minister of the European Union. We go from the incompetent Jungle Joseph Borrell to the even more incompetent Kaja Kallas, the Russia-hating, warmongering Kaja Kallas. She has resigned as the Prime Minister of Estonia. And one more story connected to the European Union. We are getting reports that the EU is planning on seizing Chinese-owned assets. Actually, NATO allies are discussing reclaiming some Chinese-owned infrastructure in Europe. Man, these guys, no reverse gear. They really don't know when they've been beaten, do they? They really don't know when to just admit defeat. Pull back, lick your wounds, admit defeat, and try to make amends. Try to fix up all the damage you have caused. Nope. We're not only going to freeze and seize the Russian assets, but now we are going to go after the assets of China in Europe. Yeah, that's going to end really well. Europe and NATO, Europe allies. That is going to end really, really well. So let's discuss a bit about Project Ukraine. And let's start off with a statement from the outgoing NATO chief, Stoltenberg. Stoltenberg, he shot down Zelensky and Poland, Zelensky-Tusk, let's call it the Zelensky-Tusk, even though Tusk was not so hot on the idea, no-fly zone over West Ukraine. Remember that idea from Zelensky and Tusk? That Poland would shoot down Russian drones and missiles over Western Ukraine from Polish territory? Yeah, Stoltenberg, I was going to say Tusk, no, Stoltenberg, he gave an interview and he said, nope, we are not going to do that. NATO does not recommend that. We are not in favor of that. And it's not going to happen. We are not going to be a party to this conflict. What we are going to do, according to Stoltenberg, is we are going to continue to pump Ukraine up with weapons and money, whatever we can get to Ukraine so that they can fight this war and so that they can be get annihilated by the Russian military. But NATO is not going to be involved in this conflict. I think I called this one pretty good, didn't I? I called this about Tusk and the no-fly zone, and yesterday I was talking about how, when push comes to shove, NATO backs off of actually getting involved in the conflict. NATO wants no piece of it, no piece of Russia, because I've always held the belief, had the stance that. And this goes from 2 years ago, that if NATO actually believed that they could defeat Russia and bully Russia, they would have already done it. They would have already been in Ukraine. But they know that they can't defeat Russia in Ukraine. And so they're going to allow Ukraine to fight the war on their behalf. Anyway, that was a statement from Stoltenberg. So should we do some clown worlds? Let's see, do I have any more stories that I want to talk about? Is this a new story, or is this like a week or two old and I just haven't reported on it? That Sweden has canceled its investigation into the Nord Stream pipeline sabotage. Continuing silence with regard to Nord Stream is deafening. Apparently, Sweden has been unable to determine who is responsible for the Nord Stream pipeline destruction and have discontinued their investigation. I'm shocked. They just can't figure it out, can they? Sweden can just not figure it out. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult case to crack. It really is. Who could have blown up Nord Stream? If only you had high-level collective West officials like, I don't know, say President Biden or at the time, Undersecretary of State Newland. I don't know. If only you had these types of high-level collective West officials telling Germany that they're going to blow up Nord Stream. If only you had like video evidence of this, or if only you had a tweet from, say, I don't know, a high-level European foreign minister, like maybe, I'm just spitballing here, Sikorsky from Poland. If only you had the Polish foreign minister posting on Twitter, "Thank you USA," with a photo of Nord Stream blown up, the bubbles, the gas rising from the sea. If only you had that tweet from a high-level foreign minister. I don't know, but Sweden just can't figure it out. Let me do one more story that I have saved here, and this is coming from a former. Back to Ukraine. This is coming from a former Obama official, former U.S. permanent representative to NATO, Ivo Dalder, called on Kiev to begin mobilizing Ukrainian 18-year-olds. What Ukraine needs to do is mobilize human resources. This is a war fought by 40-year-olds. You need to recruit 18-year-olds. You need to recruit 20-year-olds, and you need to recruit 21-year-olds. That is what this former Obama official said in an interview. And Putin warned that this is coming, didn't he? He said that the collective West is going to keep Zelensky in power. They're going to keep him as president, even though he is illegitimate, according to the Russian Federation, and according to Putin, he's illegitimate. But they're going to keep him in power because they want him to fulfill one last big controversial task, and that is to mobilize 18-year-olds. And once he does that, which is going to be extremely controversial, extremely unpopular, but once Zelensky does that, then the collective West, according to the Russian president, will be done with him, and they will get his replacement in position. So let's go back to Biden for our Clown World segment and his speech from the Oval Office. And did Biden say battle box? I believe twice. As he was reading from the teleprompter, he said battle box. But what he meant to say was ballot box. But he said battle box. What is a battle box? I don't know. Sounds like a game, like a computer game or something, like a multiplayer game, battle box. You have entered the battle box. Choose your weapon. He wanted to say ballot box. Okay, we have that. And then you have this one. And this one's good. Biden was talking about America. This is America. He likes to throw that in there now. You notice every speech that Biden makes, he always says, this is America. There's nothing we can't do. There's nothing that we can't accomplish. His script writers, I'm convinced of this. His White House script writers told him, Joe, whenever you run into trouble, either pivot to something else, say something like anyway or something like that. I actually say anyway often as well. So anyway, use anyway as a way to bridge to another topic. So I'm confident they told him that. But I'm also 1,000% convinced that his scriptwriters told him, if you run into any kind of problem as you're speaking, just pivot right away to how great America is, and then people will clap and you'll be good. You can exit. you can finish up your speech and get up off the stage. And so he's using that a lot now. Whenever he's running into trouble, Biden just goes to the America is great, there's nothing we can't do, there's nothing we can't accomplish line, and then he wraps up a statement. But yesterday he wanted to say that America is great and we're going to make America great. I think that's what he wanted to say. I'm actually pretty convinced. A lot of people are convinced that what he wanted to say was, come on, everybody. This is America. We're going to make America great again. That's what he wanted to say. And he pulled back. He caught himself before he said it. That's how it looks. Can you imagine if Biden said, we are going to make America great again? That would have been epic. That would have been epic. That would have beaten the mess up of calling Zelensky Putin and saying that Trump is his vice president. I think that would have been the trifecta. That would have been the treble of gaffes. Zelensky is Putin. Got that one. My vice president is Trump. Got that one. All we need Biden to say is make America great again. That's it. And then we have a hat trick. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. The Duran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop. Pick up some limited edition merch. The link is in the description box down below. Take care.